Alright, hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to this recap video, I guess, about the time I spent at CES. This particular video is going to be about the people themselves. My first video in this mini-series was about the vehicle itself and its fit and finish and things of that nature, and flaws that I noticed. So this time around it's about the people and, in my opinion, the secret sauce that will make Aptera work. Let's get started. As I said in the beginning, if I were to put my finger on the secret sauce that will make Aptera successful, it's the people both in and around the company. The Aptera community is among the most interesting and fun people I've ever been around, interviewed, or just generally talked to. As a case in point, every time I went to the booth over the course of CES, I was greeted by either a staff member or an Aptera fan who would ask me if I knew about Aptera. They would also say, "Hey, come check this out." Or they would present an interesting fact about Aptera, like its range or the fact that it has the option to be charged by the sun. I saw this consistently for the time I would spend at the booth for just about every person that passed by. The crowds near Aptera stayed consistent every day I was able to be there at the event and could see them. I was there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. As you can see, the crowd composition changed over the course of the 3 days I was there as well. It started out with mostly Aptera fans with a few onlookers. The composition flipped on day 2 with most of the people at the booth being interested in Aptera, which was interesting because they hadn't heard of Aptera, so the split was about 30% Aptera fans and 70% new people to Aptera. I attribute this to the frequent media coverage through articles and news stations coming to cover the vehicle and posting their findings. By day 3, there were very few Aptera fans, and it was mostly people unfamiliar with Aptera before CES. I asked a couple of folks to make sure, but as far as I could tell, the booth stayed consistently full, and more folks overall were learning about Aptera for the first time than had already known about it. I had a lot of interactions with the staff at Aptera. Several of these conversations stood out, and so I will go ahead and talk about them here. The first interaction I had with the staff member was speaking very briefly with Chris McCammon. He greeted me and thanked me for my videos, which, by the way, it still blows my mind that the Aptera staff actually watches my videos. Thank you so much, guys. Wild. And we had a pleasant conversation before he was pulled to help moderate the line of people waiting to sit in the Aptera. I spoke with Jason Hill, Chris Anthony, Steve Fambro, Jason Moon, Blake Ryan, Quincy, Audra, procurement folks, UI programmers, electrical engineers, and literally anyone who would speak with me, and they were all kind, considerate, and amazing people. As an introvert, watching them interact so consistently and with so many different people, they looked a little like superheroes, but I digress. Monday evening, there was even a get-together where I got to know the fun sides, backgrounds, and senses of humor of the staff. Audra stood out here. She had me smiling or laughing pretty much the entire night, a standout moment there being an imaginary conga line to attract people to the booth. I spoke with an engineer, sir, I am not going to butcher your name because I'd only heard it once and I respect you far too much, who shared his story and was also a blast to be around. There was even a fellow military veteran, Jason Moon, who I spoke with the longest out of anyone at Aptera during CES. We had a lot in common, and he was a fantastic conversationalist. The community was another highlight. I made friends there who were just as nerdy, if not more so than I am when it comes to Aptera. The standouts here being Joseph, Rand, Dave, Raj, Bernard, just to name a few. Everyone I met, regardless of if they were an Aptera fan before or a new fan of Aptera, was passionate about the project and saw its value. This was not surprising based on the reactions I get from people I meet and talk about Aptera for the first time, but seeing so many people that get it together in one place was awesome. You may remember during my interview with Steve that he said the biggest thing to get right was the team and figuring out how to motivate them. By my estimation at least, they've built an amazing team, and it was an honor to get to meet so many of them. to the team at Aptera that I got to meet. Though I'm sure Steve Fambro and Chris Anthony said this the moment you got back, just in case, you all rocked the house. When Aptera takes off around the end of this year and into early next year, it will be the result of your hard work and tenacity. It was an honor, and I can't wait to meet you again, someday soon. Speaking of hard work, Aptera's exhibit was twofold. There was an area where the Apollo existed with its exploded view, and there was a place where media was able to get rides. Both sections served their purpose as well, and were put together and well organized. As I mentioned, the main booth was packed, and at least while I was there, the place where media was interacting with the Aptera, it was still for an average of 2 minutes between rides so people could set up their camera gear for the next ride. It was so encouraging to see how busy both booths were and to have so many people interested. Aptera's booth was the most populated car-related booth at the show as far as I saw, with the exception of the Honda booth when they showed their Zero concepts for the first time. Even Honda's booth became kinda dead by day 3 while Aptera's booth endured. CES was a big reminder how much it could mean for Aptera to make it to market. The interest is there, at least based on the crowds. The media coverage for the show almost always mentioned Aptera in their car sections for the best stuff at the show or super really awesome stuff we saw. If CES is any indication, Aptera is about to be a huge deal in the world, and I love the fact that I'm along for the ride. Alright, that will do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am once more the Engineer. If you would like to do the YouTubey things, please do so by clicking on the provided links all around. Yeah. Take care, have a great rest of your day. The standouts here being The standouts here being Joseph, Rand, Dave, Raj, Bernard. Thanks for watching. Ooh, actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this third section now.